important. So let's see what we can do here. We got to page Tov Reish Yud Gimel. And the Hakavanot says like this: Sham Nizboyer Tam Smichus Geulu Tefillah. That's where we're at. We're going to read the light print today. We'll try that one. So he's a Pirish Rav as Hachila Sheyesh Nocha Bebein Malchus the Olam Atzilus, like the difference that you have between Malchus of Olam Atzilus, Bebein the Malchus Shal Shlosha Olamus Bri Yitzir Nesir. What do they say about that? Yuvim B'Vnecha V'ma Oimrim Kaddish being called Olam L'Olam. So then you can understand why you say Kaddish. Why? Between every word, the Hainu Shekashecha Ma'alim as Olam Hasir L'Olam Hayitzira. When you do that, Omrim Kaddish Echad Kedei La'alosa the Yitzira V'hu HaKaddish Omrim Achrech Amiris Rabbi Yishmoel Omrim Shlosh Esri Midas Aterim Dreshus. He's a v'kodem amiris hodu. V'kein kasher ma'alam as olam yitzira have the same thing. The olam abriya omrim kaddish echad v'ku hakaddish omrim bein yishtabak the birchus yotze or. So then he says like this: Akash ma'alam as olam abriya the olam v'chatzila the haydach b'bein ogol yisawel the tefila v'chamida as ein omrim kaddish. V'chatam l'zech shenishtan aliyazach b'aliyas olam abriya l'olam atzilus. The reason for this is b'zo she'ein oimrim kaddish bein gol yisroch l'chatilas tefilah ve'elach bein asiyah liyitzira bein yitzira the bria oimrim kaddish. He says who be shum shekol chlalus as eses spheres shel malchus olam atzilus. All of those 10 spheres. Yordan and Mislashim, the Kisei Shel Olam Abriya, they all go down and they clothe themselves in the Kisei Bria, so they're in Bria. Be'im Kain ein Kirvach of a Gedoyle, but Masha Olam Chatzilus Olam Bria, so they're so close and Mukhim V'Korvim V'Meduakim Zebazeh. So Yisach V'Lechein ein Sarach L'Halhos as Olam Abriya L'Olam Atzilus. Shahare Olam Abriya Gavar Kasher B'Kasher Amhitzi Ma'asis Sphere Shal Malchus Atzilus, because it's in there. V'Olam Atzilus Na'asech Echad Im Olam Abriya. Mameda Zech B'Dal Nechsha V'Liyah L'Olam Echad L'Olam Olam Acher. So this is not since it's already in there. So we learned this earlier. As that the Malchus of Asiyah is in of Yitzira is in Asiyah. V'lechein ein amiris kaddish bein gol yisorach l'chatichidis b'berchus amida. Yisach v'ein l'hapsek b'neihem ki geula b'ki b'olam abriya. V'tefilah hi b'malchus l'chatzilus omeda b'olam abriya. V'zel shachar b'malchus atz b'yireda b'olam abriya shenechem na'asim echad g'mo shapira shenrab l'kamon. Yisach v'kan lo nizbar v'kan lo nizbar u've'ezet Hashem nimshach l'voyer v'od choyzer l'moed. So he's done with that. Let's go back to, let's see, we'll go to Reish Lamed Bet, we'll read that over to Reish Lamed Gimel, we'll reach this one, and then I'm going to go back to reading the top. And we'll pick it up as best we can over there. So let's see what goes like this. He says, Lefichach, I think, but it says the Shulchan, Rabbi Yashin, Kosev, Ezel, the Shonah. I don't know, Bashar Kavanos. Okay, there we go. Amach, because of Shekachte Tashlum Hashemesh. He says, I forgot the completed sentence there, the Tashlumo. The Fisha Hechel Kodak Adashin de law, Kolul Arvech Spheres Kachpat. So of Vashisha Hechel is a Tachtonus, Hyrecha Be'eses Spheros, Vehem and the Chloking Lushiva Hechelos. So of a Simon of a Simon Shiva Mutsakos at Kanashana. So then he uses this idea. He has, I'm not sure exactly how he got the 7. But the simon for this is Shiva b'Shiva Mutsakos. So there's, I don't know, 7 and 7. Ad kan l'shona v'chein kuba pri eitz chaim. So I'm not sure exactly what that was, but it didn't have the whole thing. Let's go on. V'nachso the Indian, the Gadeshin should be the Shakri. Let's go back and talk about them. So let's try to read across the top, and I want to move this along. V'nachsa the India the Kaddish should be the Shabbos. He says this is the Rav only. Between those three, who b'bechidah sheish heicholos atachtonis dosiyah, min hoda rabbi baruch she'amar. This we know. Who bechidas heichol kodesh kadashin dosiyah, shemischafek v'choizech lehiyos yitzira mamish. Ayidera b'malchus had the yitzira ha'omedet beheichol hazecha ganal because it's there already, like that. B'secha v'sod tosefes Shabbos b'sod klipas noga. So this is also this concept here. It's a concept of an additional part of Shabbos which has to do with the klipas noga. Shalapamim nehefechas the klipa, lapam the kedusha. Sometimes it has an interface both ways. V'nimski b'arba b'lums atzilas bri yitzira siyas. So in those four universes, yesh name siyas. There's two different realities here. The one is the 6 heichelos, which is in each one of those olamos. So they're in, I'm not sure what he meant by that. So is there one group as a klal only? So I'm not sure what that meant. So he said, the second one is the 7th one. So the Lord's 6, he wants to say, are like a group by themselves. Then the next one, though, is a different story. The Elyon Shendikra Cheichel Kodesh Kadashim, Hashechachum Nichlal Lamala, because it's incorporated from up above. And it also will come to be like, in other words, joined back in the world up above it. Masha Ein came Beshisha Heichelos Tachtonis Kenizkar, which is not the case over there. I think I missed something over here. And so I want to go to number Reish Mem and read the light print. He says, number Reish Mem says, Hachilak HaRishon hu be'inyan seder aliyas ashisha heichelos atachtonim sheyesh b'kol olam ma'olam ozabiyah. Ki hashisha heichelos atachtonim shel olam ozabiyah heim olam l'malam b'medregazim rak ba'oza olam atzmo. So what does it mean? They remain in their own olam, and they do move up. But they don't go up into the world that's above them. So I guess really simply it just says that the vak of the 6 lower parts don't move up outside of their own world. That's what it sounds like. So he said, but the upper one does. Shehechel Kodesh Kadashim Oiler Ba'olam Shalamala Memenu. Bekevin Shuhu Oiler La'olam Ha'elyon, the Menu says as it goes up to a higher world, the Fichach Hu Ne'afach Lechiyod B'Bedregach HaMetzias Oilam Shalamala Memenu, it really takes that on. Avach HaLashisha Hechelus Atachtonim, Kevin Shehem Einim Oilam La'olam Shalamala Mechem, Ela Hed Nisha'arim Ba'oz Olam, the Fichach Okay, that's a fact. So what does it mean? So he says, V'zehu hatam. So this is the reason. Hatam shel achar HaKADDISH ana oimrim kan hodu l'Hashem. That's the reason why we say hodu there. Now, why is that? After you say this Kaddish, Kodem Amiras Baruch Sha'amar, before we say Mir Sha'amar, that is, that, we have to, with the exception of the Ashkenazis, have a different count if they were interested in this. Baruch Sha'amar, because there's a problem here. We're still in Olam Masiyah. And let me read this again. Hatam Shala'achar HaKADDISH Ana Omrim Kam Hodu. Why do we say Hodu? Because we're still in Asiyah, he said. So since all the reason for saying that, I get the Pesukah de Zimra, is for a tikkun to take place in Olam Yitzira, Hoyetzrichen Lomer Gam as Hodu Achre Amiras Baruch Sha'amar. So they have to say Hodu there. What does it do? It's again, interface. Lama Ana Ein Hodu, Daika Lifnei Rabbi Mibin Baruch Sha'amar, because that 7th Heichel shall Olam Asiyah, who Allah B'Kaddish of the Olam Yitzira, it went up. He says that 7th Heichel of Olam Asiyah, it goes up into Olam Yitzira. V'na'asa sham b'b'chinas yitzira mamish. V'lechein ana onrim atacha b'hodu, so that we say hodu. Why? Kevin shuhu kumosha anku kuvar ba'olam yitzira mamish, because it's as if we were already in olam yitzira, but we're not. Ov'mashin is boyer chacha yuven shebeseder hatefila dehainu mitachilas hatefila v'ad amiras hodu, from the beginning until you get to hodu. Nechlala hashisha hechelos atachtonis t'chasiya zeh b'zeh. It incorporates the all the hechelos atachtonis the chasiya zeh b'zeh, puts them, makes them all come together. Why are you saying hodu? V'ofen shenichlal atachton ba'elyon, in a way that the lower becomes mixed with the upper. What does that mean? This is really a preliminary to actually bringing up the olam again. So let me just yuvan shebeseder hatefila dehaina mitachilas hatefila v'ad amiras hodu yechlal ashisha heichelos atachtonis t'siyah zeh b'zeh. So that's what happens at that point. So the lower and the sixth. Why do we need to do this up until that point? Is in order to make it to prepare it. La'alos olam chasiya atzmo al makom ha'elyon she'olyon she'olam ba'ofen she'alach ha'chagad b'makom ha'chabad v'anayim l'makom ha'chagad. So we heard that before. Moving on, he says, v'achar kach anu tzrichen la'alkos as a shisha hechelos l'makom ha'elyon mehem. Then we have to bring them up to a place which is up above them. He said, so they're all bundled up together now. They've moved up and they become like together. Now let's just go through this a little. He says these go up as a result. Besod ha'amud, there is a column she'omed bein kol olam la'olam, that exists between all of the olamos. Shalom ala b'menu, in other words, between the upper and the lower. V'chein be'emsa kol heichel v'heichel, and also you could see that it's in the middle of each one of the heichelos, and running right through the middle of the heichelos, it's a connector. So through this is how everything moves up. He said, so by that process, he says, this is how they also all come together. He says, so what happens now? What's your kavanah here? You're saying the Kaddish. Sha'acha Rabbi Yeshua, that Kaddish that we're saying over here, it has to do with that middle column. That with that middle column, that's the way you're going to make a connection. The actual order, he says, B'Kaddish yesh shtei pamim misper koach. In order to do this, you're going to have to throw in this concept of the koach letters again. Let me see where I'm going to. Okay, letters again. V'chein yesh b'Kaddish shtei pamim misper mob. So therefore, going to have mob twice. So we have to go into the 28 and the 42 a little bit more. V'atem b'farish arav. The Reish Nun Tes. Where am I? Okay, that's it. That's it right there. Okay, so we're going to stop right there, and I'll try to make a mark and get over to just a little bit of the Sifra Tzniuta, because we have 5 minutes. So let me see if I can make this happen.